Freeze forward. Freeze forward. And 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the world's slowest sidecar project. I think that's what we're calling it. I'm really not sure anymore. Last time, we stripped a bunch of stuff off this unit and we slammed it down a bit and slammed it down a bit in the front and the back for that matter, and unplugged a bunch of wires that I don't know what they go to anymore. Exciting. It's also raining out. It's cold. It's beginning of May. It's spring here in Maine, and got a nice hot cup of tea. Kind of feel like Alex from Two-Stroke Stuffing right now. Small CC motorcycle, tea. Seemingly no idea what I'm doing, but I probably have a somewhat of a clue. Trying to get to Bonneville this year. Behind. It's a lot like Alex's projects, I think. But what are we going to do today? We're going to finish up some stuff that we started last time. So we have stripped the stuff off, unplugged a bunch of wires, like I said, and it doesn't run anymore, likely. Well, it's because there's a bunch of stuff unplugged. And there's no handlebars anymore. There's no way to ride it particularly safely. There's no seat anymore. So the goals today are to try to strip the wiring out legitimately that we don't need. So turn signals, any of the safety circuit switches for the kickstand or the center stand or whatever else interrupts the ignition circuit on this. We're going to try to delete on that and get this down to so that we can have just a simple on-off switch and a kill pull safety cord, which is required by the rules for Bonneville and for Loring. And get it so it's rideable, so that we can do our apples to apples-ish comparison of what it was like fully dressed and running the way it was. We did 58 miles an hour, I think, on flat ground. We did 60 with a little bit of a downhill. We're going to try to repeat the same tests in Canada, Mexico, and see how much faster it goes with less stuff on it. Now, I think I had mentioned this last time we had talked too. It's not super scientific because I've changed enough things, like no air box. The weather's completely different. It was 20 degrees out that day. It got cold thinking about it. 20 degrees out that day, and now it's probably going to be like 60, 70 degrees when we test it again. So it is what it is, but it's for fun. Anyways, this whole thing is for fun. It's not real serious. Just to have a good time. So since I worked on this last, it was obviously needed some stuff. I knew some more things so I could order some stuff. So I ordered, actually I had Bob order. He's bankrolling this. I do the work, and he rides and keeps the energy level up. He's the inspiration here too, and he's also going to drive it all the way out to Bonneville. So it's a pretty good deal that I just have to build it and ride it. But anyways, and so I sent out we got some Heim joints, some M12 Heim joints to make our adjustable rear struts for the suspension. I also got a bunch more, so I got left hand, right hand threads so we can do a turnbuckle style adjustment there. And then thinking ahead, I have to choose a way to mount the sidecar to the bike. Now I know that our friend in Japan is going to start screaming in the comments at me. You can't use Heim joints, they're rigid. I hear you. And I know I don't actually know anything better. I'm not by no means saying that I understand putting a sidecar on a motorcycle more than you, sir. But I am still going to try it anyways. As far as using the Heim joints, it's just so easy to make adjustable rods so we can adjust the toe and also the camber of the car. It just makes it super simple, because if I use left and right hand thread Heim joints in my tie bars, I have infinite adjustability, which you may say, okay, well, there's a universal ball thing that our friend in Japan mentioned. And now, I'll be honest, I didn't look real hard, but I didn't find anything immediately that seemed like it was going to be easy to find and use. And I was already ordering packs of 10 of the M12 Heim joints left and right. So I'm just going to try those, but we can always change them later. Not a big deal. Also got in jam nuts for the same thing, left and right hand jam nuts, because M12 1.5, I think, pitch thread. And then handlebars. So we're not going to use regular handlebars. We're going to use clip-ons, and I envision the handle, the grips, the handlebars being down here. So got some clip-ons, ordered those, and those are in. We're actually going to install those today. Heim joints are not in, the nuts are in. And there's a few other things that we ordered. Kind of planning ahead for this sidecar unit. I'm actually pretty excited about the wheel and tire package that we're going to use on this, or at least try to use. That's where we're starting. I think I might save that for when we actually start talking about what we're going to do for a sidecar unit build in the first place. So today is going to be boring a little bit. I think I say that every time. I don't think that's a good way to start videos for YouTube, is to tell you that what I'm going to do is boring. It's not boring. It's wiring. So we're gonna figure out the wiring. I like wiring. I'm not saying I'm the greatest, but I enjoy trying to figure that stuff out. But it's time consuming, and it's not real glamorous when you're just like cutting open wire looms and looking for colors and stuff. I mean, it's not a lot of action. It's not like grinding and cutting and welding and there's stuff going on, or stripping parts off or something like that. There's not a lot of just action going on there. So I'll probably figure it out a little bit and then share with you folks what ends up happening. And then of course I'm gonna put on the clip-ons and kind of figure some stuff out. I don't know if I gotta figure out if I'm gonna delete on the center stand today and the kickstand. I already took the kickstand off, I'm pretty sure. I left the center stand on and to just hold it up in the shop, but it is actually really unwieldy to have the rear tire like 8 inches off the ground and on the center stand and try to wheel it around when the front end is just flopping back and forth. I haven't made the spacer for the front wheel yet either, or the plug for the tachometer hole, the tack drive. That'll come soon. So I've already talked too much and I haven't done anything yet. And I've only taken one sip of this tea, so I think it's time to get stuck in it and figure out how in the world I'm going to make this work. But let's get to it. All right, so first things first. I want to do the fun stuff first. Actually, this light is like shining right at. I don't know, maybe put this over here. Is that good? I don't really know. Good enough for me. Is it good enough for you? I don't know that either. Huh. So first things first, I want to do something that gets me excited. I think it's just the rain today, and it's a Sunday, and it's already like, I don't know, almost lunchtime. I've done quite a bit today, but I haven't done much on this, so I got to get pumped up. And sometimes when you go out in the garage and it's just kind of meh, and I love doing this stuff. Absolutely love it. But sometimes you're just meh, and you need something that gets you fired up. So what do? You take that thing that you ordered, that you've just been dying to put on your project, that you really don't need to put on yet, but you really just feel compelled to do it. And, you know, it's okay. You should do it because it gets you jazzed. It gets you excited about all the crappy stuff you got to do, like cutting open wiring looms and figuring out, you know, what actually will make it run or not run anymore. So I went on the Slamazon, and found some clip-on bars. So all I had to do was now, full disclosure, I've never bought clip-ons before in my life. I only knew what they were called because I used to nerd out about Honda CB, you know, 350, 360, 550, 750s and stuff. And I always thought I was going to build a cafe racer back like 20 plus years ago, but more than 20 years ago. Anyways, I'm older-ish. And it was really easy. All you need to know is the diameter of your fork stanchions. And there is tons of them available on Amazon. And some come with these shim kits so that you can put them on all sorts of tubes. I wasn't a big fan of that idea because the more items that you put between the thing that clamps on the thing, the more failure points there are, or opportunity. Well, failure would be it loosening up and then you couldn't steer, so it is failure points. But the more opportunity for it to loosen up and your handlebar move, which is not good because you want the handlebar to be firmly on the fork so that you can steer the motorcycle. So what they have every size you can imagine. But in our case, on the GN125, it's a 32 millimeter fork stanchion. So we're able to order up some 32 millimeter clip-ons. Now maybe I'll get these a little closer. So these are the clip-ons. So you got, let's see if I can get these in the right. So these will go on like this. You can see that. Get it over in here. So wow, this is like looking backwards. But these are the clip-ons. So it's kind of like it's a dual clamp. So this clamp is the 32 millimeter, and in this case, they actually say 32 millimeter right on them. And then the bar itself, that is also just a clamp. So you can adjust this bar in and out as needed, and they come with, so I can get it focused, they come with nice little bar ends on there. So these seem kind of long, but actually by the time we get the clutch lever and everything on here on the one, then maybe they're not. But we can always slide them in and out, and so that we can save on having this full length if we wanted in the future, so that we can make it comfortable, or we can choke them right up if we want to make it just a different length or whatever. It depends. These are pretty good. So I think these were only like $21, which is just, it's amazing, really. It's a piece of machined aluminum. They've been anodized. They've been bead blasted and anodized. So I can't quite tell. I don't think they're cast. They don't look cast per se. Well, they could be cast and then finished machined. Either way, $21 is pretty inexpensive. Would I put these particular ones on like a super high powered bike that I rode a lot, or maybe even or rode off-road for that matter, which I don't know why you'd have clip-ons off-road unless you're the C-Boys and you're just riding R6s and street glides in the Mobby or the Mob, Devil's Back. Anyways, nonetheless. But for this, minimal time we're going to ride it, slow as we're going to go, not a lot of load, absolutely the best deal, $21. So we're going to go ahead and stick these on there because that's the right thing to do right now, because I got to get jazzed. I got to get excited about digging into this wiring here and figuring out how to get it to run again. Nice hot tea. And yeah, so let's get these on. Now I think I'm gonna need some metric Allen wrenches, which I don't think I'm so lucky to have metric right here. Hold on, we gotta get some metric Allen wrenches. Thankfully I can just wheel myself around here. Oh, look at that. Well, I never. Oh, maybe I just didn't open it enough. No, I did. I definitely did. All right, I have no idea. Oh, they're right here. Dun, 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 dun. All right, we're back. We got Allen wrenches. So we got to figure, these are probably, I don't know, what are these? M6, and they might take a 5. Good guess. Did you know that typically when you have a socket head cap screw, metric socket head cap screw, it's the Allen wrench that you need is 1 millimeter smaller than the shank size of the bolt? Doesn't always work though, because an M8, well, everything larger than M6 is 2 millimeters smaller. So an M8 would be 6 millimeter, and a M10 would be 8 millimeter, but an M6 is 5 millimeter, and M5 is 4 millimeter, and so on all the way down. Another fun fact, if you want to really nerd out, which I don't think you want to, but you're here, you may skip this, but if you have a button head socket head cap screw in metric, it's actually 1 more millimeter smaller. So an M8 would be a 5 millimeter, where if it were a regular socket head cap screw, it would be a 6 millimeter Allen. Fun facts that you probably didn't want to know, because you probably just grab, the pack of Allen wrenches and just go until you find the right one. But if you really were interested, then now you know. All right, so I'm just going to take this top crown off, which everything is finger tight. I just threw everything back on fingerish tight. Because I knew I'd be playing around with it a lot. Now with that, you do have to remember, if you're going to do that, you do have to remember that you go back and tighten everything. You got to do your nut and bolt check. So here we go. Are we ready? Oh. Dude, look at this. Look at this. Someone's knocking at the door. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. We had a visitor. Okay, so we got to put these on. What do you think? Can you tell? That looks pretty cool. I should probably put this crown on and then put this back on, and then we'll tighten them up. And then maybe I'll bring you in here and you can get a little different look to it. Get that all the way down. And then we could put, maybe we could try to slide our throttle on and stuff and see what that looks like. Well, that's pretty neat though. The next thing is like when you turn, so we're not going to use this tank. We're going to have a different tank. We're going to have a custom tank on here. We're just leaving this on there now because I don't want to make a custom tank yet, because I have no idea what this frame is going to look like yet. In the frame area, and like when we're laid out down over it, what that's going to look like yet. So let me get this buttoned up and get some stuff on here, and then I'll bring you in so you can see what it looks like. I'm back. We had a visitor. Okay, so we got to put these on. What do you think? Can you tell? That looks pretty cool. I should probably put this crown on and then put this back on, and then we'll tighten them up. And then maybe I'll bring you in here and you can get a little different look to it. Get that all the way down. And then we could put, maybe we could try to slide our throttle on and stuff and see what that looks like. Well, that's pretty neat though. The next thing is like when you turn, so we're not going to use this tank. We're going to have a different tank. We're going to have a custom tank on here. We're just leaving this on there now because I don't want to make a custom tank yet, because I have no idea what this frame is going to look like yet. In the frame area, and like when we're laid out down over it, what that's going to look like yet. So let me get this buttoned up and get some stuff on here, and then I'll bring you in so you can see what it looks like. All right. Okay. So I got the bars on, and they are super rad looking. All right, so I got the bars on, and they look super cool. They've got the look. I feel already like this is a land speed bike, and it's just like being a little kid and looking at magazines, and you know, before YouTube and stuff, it was like magazines or articles, or maybe sometimes on TV you could see stuff. It looks like things I dreamt of when I was a little boy, thinking about Bonneville and land speed racing. And then of course I never thought as an adult, honestly, that I would be able to go land speed racing, considering we have a venue in Maine of all places. So I feel very fortunate for that, but like, and have gone and have been going to Loring for over a decade, and really looking at the cars, interested in bikes. Mostly I just love how the bikes look, and having these low clip-ons on here on this small frame stripped down, those bikes always really got me excited, especially the like really custom ones. So having these clip-ons on there, and I haven't sat on it yet, but I've put my arms on, and it feels like everything I imagined. So it is definitely inspiring to throw those on there, and gets me excited. But now you're going to see what 6 foot looks like on here with this current length. And I don't have any rear sets on here yet to put my feet on, but we can kind of guess. I'm going to put my feet on the regular pegs, because that's how we're going to have to test ride it. And just see what it looks like. So of course this center stand, this thing is like 9 miles in the air now. So at least we got some bars when we go to move it around the shop to hold on to. And I put a little paper over the rear tire just because I tried this, and I got my pants and my butt pinched underneath this underneath this strap back here. Oh dude, this is awesome. So if I were to put my feet, let's say I was sat here, I had my leg on there. I mean, I guess I fit. I mean, I do. I can see myself. I got a monitor so I can actually see myself. I guess I fit. And like that's plenty of turning. You don't need to turn any more than that. Get my head right down. Now, if I had a helmet on, these are gonna be kind of tricky having them that high up. But I don't think it should be any higher than this. I want it as low as possible. So I may have to put like something on these so that the helmet doesn't smash into them, because these will mess up the helmet glass. But of course, I don't plan on this being this short. I want to lengthen this whole frame. So moving this forward, so I'm more like this, and Bob may be a little bit more laid out. And then imagine my feet. Let's see if I can do this. There's too many things dangling. Imagine my feet in the back like this, and then my chest on this plate, or on a plate on the tank, and being able to be forward all the way like this. That's the riding position that I want to be in. But this is the one that we're going to use for now, just to test the speed of the bike now with all the parts missing off it. So if I'm like this, I think Bob could safely do this. I got to do something about the brake. I loosened it way up, so you have to, in this awkward position, it's hard to push the brake enough to actually do anything. And of course we deleted on the front brake, so that's a bit of an issue. But this feels good. I like this. I think the bars, we could actually move the controls up even tighter by loosening up. Like I said, these clamps here, we'll leave the bar end, the nubby doos. We won't cut these off, so we have options in the future, but we can tuck everything up tighter. And of course, I got my factory throttle and my factory kill switch here, because we're going to use the original carburetor for now, but I've already gotten a Slamazon Mikuni knockoff special. That is, I think, is a good choice for us moving forward instead of the CV carburetor for now. It's just there's less things for us to mess with now. There's probably some diehard CV folks out there, and I have one on my Harley. I've said this before. I love how it runs, but I just think in the case of when we're out in Bonneville, we're going to bring minimal parts and stuff. There are a little bit less things for a novice tuner like myself to go wrong. There's only a few things you can really do to have it not go the way you want. Less parts, easy peasy, I think. We will see, but I'm super jazzed. I'm excited. Oh. I got to figure out a temporary seat. I keep looking at myself in the monitor thinking about this. I got to come up with a temporary seat to put on here because obviously it's super dangerous to be sitting just on this little strap of metal here with a tire there going down the road for testing. So one of the things that I think I can get a block of wood to set this thing on now. One of the things that we will have to do is I think there was a plastic inner fender guard here which weighs grams or ounces. It's not that heavy. I think we'll add that back for now, because that already protects this whole area. You can't get fabric in there. I'll put that back, and then I'm gonna have to rig some sort of just little pad here for Bob to sit on and test, because he'll test this next. So I think I might just make a little L plate for his butt to sit back here. Maybe I'll do something off the end of these and tie something in back here and just have a little L-shaped thing, and that'll be good for now, I think. So next steps is I've got this bundle of wires. You can see that hanging out there. And I've just got to chase that back here, and I already was looking at it. And a lot of times these things, when you look at all of them, and until you get dug in, it seems like there's a lot going on. And sometimes, I'm not saying it's going to be this time, but sometimes after you actually get in there, you realize that it's not that complicated. And I'm hoping that's the case with it. So I'm going to get the fuel tank off, which still has some fuel in it, which I actually thought about. We do have a spare tank, so we don't have to take fuel out of this tank. We have a spare tank that we'll re-weigh this with, so we have a dry weight comparison when we figure out who wins the bet on who's buying lunch next on how much weight I was able to take off the motorcycle as a whole. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the fuel tank off, and I'm going to start working my way through the wiring. And I think I'm just going to cheat for you folks, and I'm going to figure out what it will take to basically delete the wiring and get it so it will run again. And then I will catch back up and basically tell you what I was able to do, which may be helpful for some of you folks that are modifying a GN 125, making it an off-road only bike, or maybe you're going to make a land speed bike too. I dare you to, and come race us. Please do it. Hell, it would be cool if somebody out there, maybe a couple of you out there, built your own GN 125 sidecar and came and challenged Bob and I. That would be super fantastic. I actually hadn't even thought of that yet. I would be down. That would be great. I'll give you all a Late Start Racing t-shirt, a hat, and some mini turbos or whatever if I see you and you bring your own bike. Maybe some other stuff by then, but I would hook you up with some Late Start Racing gear if you came out with your own GN 125 and raced with us. It'd be super exciting. By the way, Loring Timing Association main event in July, and this year the Harvest event is in early September. I'll flash up the dates here. So come race with us. Come on, come visit us. Come hang out with us. Come talk bikes and cars and stuff. It's a great time. It's a great time. All right, time to actually go back to work here. Although I'm going to stare at these clip-ons for a little while longer and finish my tea. And then maybe I'll get myself a Polar Seltzer. Actually, I think we should be sponsored by Polar. Polar Seltzer, Massachusetts Polar Seltzer, local made seltzer water. Do you want to sponsor the Late Start Racing YouTube channel, Late Start Racing and Duffy Digital? Come on, you know you want to. Anyways, all right, so I'm gonna drink my tea, probably grab a seltzer, and start deleting on some stuff. Now I gotta figure out how to hold this up. Oh, I guess I gotta put it back on the center stand. Ready? Hey! Oh, there we go. All right, so I got to think about it. I was like, I didn't prove to you that it ran. Man, that seltzer's good. And I need to make sure it ran. So here's the proof. Ignition on, key on. And then just playing with the choke. So the exhaust isn't tight, and there's a crankcase leak because I haven't plugged the tachometer hole, but it runs. Actually, it runs better than it did before. Well, maybe not. But it runs, and it dies when you want it to. It shuts off, so perfect. I kind of just jammed the wiring up in there. It's good. So now the things that I need to do next, for sure, before we go and test this thing again, I got to put the, I got to see if I can't fit the flat thing in here, or I got to come up with something different for Bob to sit on. I don't know. I got to do something here so Bob can sit here, and I've got to. I've forgotten what I need to do. I think I'm tired. Oh, I need a battery that has the posts that face the right way, so I can actually mount it in here. Which reminds me, I got to make that. I got to fix that battery box so it doesn't have a back, because the air box used to be the back. So it's got a strap that holds the battery in, but it'll just fall out the back now. So I need to make a back for that, and I need to get the battery with the posts that are the right way. And that's pretty much, so the seat, that's pretty much it in order for us to test. Oh, and I got to plug the holes I've got in it as far as the tachometer hole, and actually tighten the exhaust up correctly, do a nut and bolt check, and then I think this thing can be ridden. And yeah, so that's it for today. Thanks for coming by. This has been another Late Start Racing, world's slowest land speed motorcycle sidecar. I should have wrote that down, what that actually says. And have a cold Polar. They're good. They're good for you. They're good. All right, so I got to think about it. I was like, I didn't prove to you that it ran. Man, that seltzer's good. And I need to make sure it ran. So here's the proof. Ignition on, key on. And then just playing with the choke. So the exhaust isn't tight, and there's a crankcase leak because I haven't plugged the tachometer hole, but it runs. Actually, it runs better than it did before. Well, maybe not. But it runs, and it dies when you want it to. It shuts off, so perfect. I kind of just jammed the wiring up in there. It's good. So now the things that I need to do next, for sure, before we go and test this thing again, I got to put the, I got to see if I can't fit the flat thing in here, or I got to come up with something different for Bob to sit on. I don't know. I got to do something here so Bob can sit here, and I've got to. I've forgotten what I need to do. I think I'm tired. Oh, I need a battery that has the posts that face the right way so I can actually mount it in here, which reminds me, I gotta fix that battery box so it doesn't have a back because the air box used to be the back. So it's got a strap that holds the battery in, but it'll just fall out the back now. So I need to make a back for that. And they need to get the battery with the posts that are the right way. And that's pretty much, so the seat, that's pretty much it in order for us to test. Oh, and I gotta plug the holes I've got in it as far as the tachometer hole, and actually tighten the exhaust up correctly, do a nut and bolt check, and then I think this thing can be ridden. And yeah, so that's it for today. Thanks for coming by. This has been another Late Start Racing, world's slowest land speed motorcycle sidecar. I should have wrote that down, what that actually says. And have a cold Polar. They're good. They're good for you. They're good.